Morning, Treasure Lake. Morning, Robert. We'll let a few more join us before we get started. If you're joining us, jump into the comments and let us know where you're joining us from. Robert's joining us from Springfield. Gary Ball's in Branson. Sheila's in Nixa. Mesquite, Texas. Terry's in Springfield. We'll give it one more minute and then we'll get started with the update. John Snell joining us from Illinois. All right, we'll go ahead and jump into the updates and we'll open it up for questions. First up, so our RV shows, Tulsa, February 2nd through the 8th. So our sales team right now is in Tulsa at the fairgrounds. Wichita, Kansas, February 20th through the 22nd at the Century 2 building. Springfield, Missouri, February 27th through March 1st at the fairgrounds. And Topeka, March 20th through the 22nd at Stormont Vale Event Center. We also have free tickets to the Topeka show. If you're interested in getting in free, call George at 417-332-2559, and if we still have tickets available, we will give those to you so you can jump in the show and support Treasure Lake and help us recruit some new members. And Tim says he's driving to Tulsa right now, so he'll be at the show. Good morning, Ronald. Good morning, Beth. And Dale wants to know if the snow in Lake of the Ozarks is gone. All right, November profit and loss. Revenue through November was $3.4 million. Cost of sales year to date, $229,000. That's through November. Expenses through November were $3,027,000. Total comprehensive activity is positive $399,000. And last year in November, 2024 November, we had $878,000 total cash and cash investments. And total cash and cash investments in November 2025 were $1.398 million. Phase closures and winter storage. So winter storage is available in phase 3 and 1. Winter storage ends Tuesday, March 31st, but all phases will be open to camping starting on March 1st. And also on March 1st, that rate drops to $12 a month. Storage spots, so storage contracts have been mailed. If you haven't received a contract yet, please reach out to me or storage@tlresort.com and let us know. We'll make sure that we've got your address up to date and that you received that contract. Those were due February 1st. So if you haven't turned yours in yet, if you could shoot an email over to storage@tlresort.com and get that taken care of, that'd be great. Phase 1 improvements are underway and will include some trees that will be cut down, and then also new concrete pads on 65, 111, and 115, with others planned down the line. 2026 golf cart insurance stickers are now available. They can be purchased at the front desk. Stickers are $3.50, and just please remember to bring a copy of your golf cart insurance when purchasing a sticker. Also, we're coming up to the end of half-price cabins and golf carts, so if you haven't taken advantage of that, that is through February, so take advantage of that while you still can. Work camper program improvements. So we are currently in the middle of recruiting for our upcoming season for work campers. We've got positions available in housekeeping, maintenance, food and beverage. Activities is pretty full, and we really like to focus on our rock and roll and lodge. Right now we're about halfway full where we need to be on those positions. So if you know anybody that or you yourself would like to become a work camper for a full season or partial season, please reach out. Our short-term or partial season work campers this year will receive a full site hookup, a meal voucher, $80 per month, free Branson show tickets with our partner theaters, uniforms and resort amenities, early sign-on and full season commitments, and that's from now until the end of February. We'll receive a mobile hotspot allowance of $50, monthly laundry allowance of $25 until the laundry facility is built in Phase 4, and up to 1 week of vacation per season using banked hours, in addition to what the short-term partial work campers will receive. So if you're interested in joining our team, you can reach out to me or hr@tlresort.com. And just so everybody's aware, with annual dues, I know there was a couple people that reached out that hadn't heard back yet. Our goal is within 48 hours to reach out to somebody that reaches out to Tammy, our HR coordinator, about a work camper position. So be patient with us. If it's been over 48 hours when you've reached out, feel free to reach out to me as well, and I can kind of check and see where that's at in the process. Rock and Roll and Lodge Breakfast. We're planning to open both locations in March. And then, as I've said, annual dues were mailed. Quick note on that, there were a couple hundred that went out with a 2025 date on them. Everybody, even the ones that received the ones with the 2025 date, will be receiving a new one. Luckily, not a large amount of those went out without the correction. So our newsletter has also gone out. Well, actually, let me back up real quick to the annual dues. You'll also receive this flyer with your annual dues. And this flyer really just mentions our 250 memberships at $1,250 each. So real quick, 250 of those are available. It's a first come, first serve. And then unlike our last promotion, this one does allow you to collect that $200 referral bonus. So if you refer somebody and they end up buying, you receive a $200 referral bonus from Treasure Lake. It also talks about looking ahead 2026, and then mentions how you can donate to our capital improvement fund, which again, feel free to do that with your dues or separately. It's also got a little blurb about our spring break bash, which is March 16th to the 21st. Something new that we're doing this year is a fishing tournament. More information to come about this, but if you're coming down, it's a great time to come down. And then, of course, our Freedom Celebration this year is on July 4th. So 250th year anniversary, and our fireworks display is on July 4th. So that's really exciting. And then our annual meeting is October 31st. So we're going to have to start looking at maybe some Halloween themes for the annual meeting. So lots of exciting things in 2026. Last couple updates that I have: new book implementation is going well. So when you come in this season, you might see that it's a little quicker checking in, and that's one of the main goals of this new system, is to make it more streamlined for our owners. And then winter reminder, if you're staying on the park, it's still getting cold, so make sure that you insulate your water spigots to prevent any damage to the park. So those are the main updates that I have, and I'll open it up to any questions, and I'll try to scroll up to see if any popped in while I was reading and not watching. Mike says that they're here on the park. They came up yesterday, staying in a park mall for the first time, and they love it. They wanted to come and check on their camper. Park looks great. Thank you for that, Mike. Good morning, Bill. Good morning, Cheryl. Hey, Dawn. He's in Tulsa. Sheila Hibbett said, confused about activities director, asked last week, and you said is no longer a position. Now called, and who's over activities? Maybe I misunderstood. Yeah, so let me kind of explain how that went. When I first started, we looked at restructuring the organization. When I first got here, every manager reported directly to the general manager. And that's a lot of individuals to have direct reports of. So we looked at dividing the organization into departments, and one of those departments was programs and marketing. And that was Amy's position, was the director of programs and marketing. So she has left the organization, and that position is currently open. Annie is the activities manager, and she is still in that role. So that's kind of where everything is at. Does that answer your question? Okay, Bill asks, can I ask about the spring break activities are just highlights? Absolutely. So we'll be featuring some bounce houses, a brand new fishing tournaments, of course games, and several activities throughout that week. Again, March 16th through 21st. We'll have a full breakout here really soon. I was hoping to have it out by now, waiting on some bands to confirm. So more information to come on that. Terry asked, how is the long-term planning committee coming with all their plans and the board? So where we're at with that currently is the long-term planning committee met several times, developed kind of a 3, 5, and 10-year plan. That plan has been submitted to the board, and right now the board is reviewing that plan and deciding, is everything in the plan going to stay in the plan? Do we need to make some adjustments, and what does that look like? And honestly, one of the biggest factors is funds to implement the plan, right? And just because we want to do something in 3 years doesn't mean that our projections show that we would have the ability to do that. So I think that's one of the main considerations. We threw out some pretty lofty goals. So just because it's a 10-year goal doesn't mean you wait 10 years to make it happen, right? You've got to set funding aside now to make those 10-year goals happen. So it's coming along. It's been a discussion on the board level, and as soon as that gets approved, that will be coming out. Sheila, you're welcome. Good morning, James and Linda. We've got 42 current viewers. Bill says, sounds like good activities for the kids. Absolutely. Good morning, Melinda. The snow here in Branson is melting away. We can see most of the ground now. Sherry asks, we will not be there until February 6th, but we're working full-time in activities. Can we still get the full benefits? Yeah, as long as you're signing your contract and coming on for the full season, if you're an early sign-on person, all the way through February, you'll be getting the full benefits. George is at the Tulsa RV show. He's saying hello, everyone. I spoke with George this morning, and Tulsa's turned out to be a pretty good show. So if you're in the area, stop by. We're also raffling off a membership at that show. So if you know somebody that's possibly wanting to join Treasure Lake and they're near the Tulsa area, tell them to get up there and put their information down, and they might be able to get a membership. And Denise is watching from Nixa. Beth says, hello, George. Missed this one. Linda asked, is there a chance the Bluegrass Festival will come back? I'm not opposed to looking at a Bluegrass Festival at all. That was kind of before my time, so I don't have a lot of information on it, but another reminder, I've talked about it in weeks past, but if you have an interest in hosting any sort of workshop or activity, please either reach out to Annie or let me know. We'd love to kind of expand the offering and utilize our owners to do that. So if you want to teach a RV basics class, or bird watching, or anything that you have that's a passion of yours and that you're willing to teach, let us know and we can see if it'll fit within the schedule and make it an offering for all of our owners. And Coffee Club is coming back this year. The coffee cups have been ordered. And there was a question last time that somebody asked what the Coffee Club was, and it was really just a time for our owners to gather in the morning and drink some coffee and solve world problems. And Melinda asks, will we have the big stage back for 4th of July, and who is the band playing? There's no plans to bring back the big stage. Some people have told me about the stage that we used to rent. As of right now, there's no plans to bring that back. It was pretty costly to have that stage set up. And as far as the band goes, the plan is to have the same band as last year. Eastern Heights, I believe, is their name. But no stage. Terry says he'll do a leather class. We'd love to have a leather class. Ronald asks, any updates on the Veterans Wall? So that's kind of up in the air right now. there's discussion of, so to take us back to kind of where we were, initially we had enough names to fill one of the smaller stones, and we were looking at the smaller stones because we couldn't source any of the large stones that match the stones that we have out there. So we had talked about putting some smaller stones, and we had enough to do that. One of our long-term planning committee members, Dale Palmer, actually was able to source that larger stone for us. So we've got a couple of options ahead of us. We can put another stone down, which anybody that looks and counts them will see that it's one more would make it even. So we could get one more large stone. If that's the case, we don't have enough names yet to fill another full wall, so we'd be kind of waiting on that. Another option is having an engraver come out and actually engrave the back side of the stones and changing kind of the layout so that there's a path behind the stones as well, so we'd have names on both sides. So those are kind of the three options that we have in front of us, and that's something that we're discussing. I'm discussing with the board right now. So more information to come on that, but as of right now, we can't fill a large stone. So Bill McCorkle, a few years ago, there was supposed to be a meat smoking class. I would help with that, schedules permitting. That would be great. I think there's a lot of people that would love to jump into a class and learn from people that have made all the mistakes when they first started out. Good morning, Wes. Tanya asked, what type of insurance is required for a golf cart? Tanya, shoot me an email and I'll answer that question. I'm sure that there's a specific coverage in there. I don't have that in front of me right now. Unless somebody else can jump in and answer that. My apologies. Ronald asked, will the large pool be resurfaced before the season? So the pool is that's another kind of long-term conversation and project that we're having. We've got a couple different roads to go down. The pool certainly needs to be taken down to the gunite and resurfaced. It's probably not something that will be done this year as originally planned, because we're looking at a couple of other things that could affect that decision and that investment. And I'm not trying to be I'm not trying to avert your question there or get around your question. It's a pretty complex project that we're looking at, and if we're going to do that, it would also be the time to fix some plumbing issues that we were made aware of that we have as well. So this year, for now, we know that we've got 2 leaks in the water. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the name off the top of my head. The baskets. On the L of those baskets, when we had a leak detection done, we do have an active leak there. So we're definitely going to fix that. And then we're going to repaint the pool and kind of limp by one more year before we make a big investment. And there's a few things that go into that. One of them is the regulations behind having lifeguards. Is there a way that we could change the layout to require either a pool monitor or less lifeguards on duty, because that's a huge cost that the park has every year. So pretty big conversation going around that. But I guess to answer your question, it's going to be painted, but as far as it being taken out of the gunite, That is not something that we're planning on doing before the pool opens this year. We're going to be fixing those 2 leaks and repainting, and then making sure that we have a really solid plan moving forward before we pull the trigger on such a large investment. Gary Ball, thanks for answering that. Liability coverage ordinarily through your homeowner's insurance if your company writes it. And Gary Ball is the person to answer that because he is on our insurance committee. You're welcome, Ronald. I'm ready for the warmer air to come in. A lot of good tips for golf cart insurance in the comments. questions that I can answer? Bill asks not to cause an uproar, any new rules for e-bikes. So the rules are posted on the website. Beyond the changes to the lighting, the forward illumination and rear lighting reflectors, I'm not aware of any other changes that have been recent. Yeah, still don't speed even if you're on an e-bike. Terry, you're very welcome. Happy to do it. Looking forward to in-persons again so I can actually see people. Speaking of which, I'm hoping to pick those back up again in March. All right. Well, I appreciate everybody. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day, and can't wait to see everybody here when the season picks up. Be safe out there, stay warm, and we'll see you soon.